fatigue, I just wanted to show you what I'm trying to deal with. So I've got redness here and on my cheeks. I've gotten to the point where I realize I can't really do too much about the redness on my cheeks. It is what it is. But I'm also dealing with dry patches. So, and you can see some different like discolorations and stuff like that. Basically the kind of finish that I'm looking for is just something that evens out my skin tone a little bit. Doesn't have to cover too heavy, but you know, I just kind of want my skin to look nice and bright and alive and all that stuff. So, okay, starting with the foundation, I mentioned in my haul that the color that I got is 100 Ivory, and it's the lightest color that they do, and you can see it is a little dark. So the way that I get around that is I don't put a lot on. So I'm just going to start with that much. And I'm going to apply it using some form of buffing brush. So this is my Deluxe Face Brush or Expert Face Brush from Real Techniques. And it's kind of like a round top kabuki saucer. I got moisturizer on my lips. Now they're feeling funny. Bleh, bleh. Okay, so and then I'm just going to kind of apply it lightly and then blend it out as well as I can. And you can see that it is a little, but if you go lightly enough, it shouldn't be an issue. So after you put like the first little light layer on, you can, depending on like how good the coverage is for you, you can leave it like that, or I've just put a little bit more on my hand. And now I'm just going to go back into the areas where I see I need a little bit more. Our first foundation that visibly reawakens and illuminates skin with a radiant glow and a flawless natural looking finish. Visible anti-aging effect with peptides and a vitamin moisturizing complex. So I think there might be vitamin C in here. It's got a nice fresh smell to it, which I think it contributes to the awakening effect. The little illumination sparkle, well, it's not sparkles, it's shimmer, like a very, very, very fine kind of shimmer to it, which you might be able to see reflecting. See, you can see it kind of reflecting here. But I don't feel like I've got big shimmer particles all over my face. That's what makes your skin look awake and illuminate and like luminous and all that stuff. But yeah, so overall, as far as finish goes, like I said, you're getting kind of a light to medium coverage. It's buildable to a light medium. When I say it's like more than sheer, a little bit more than light, but I wouldn't go any more than a medium. And it builds, I can put a couple of coats on without it getting kind of cakey or powdery or heavy looking or anything like that. I think even it's a light enough application that I'm not noticing any demarcation or any kind of oxidization or anything like that. So it is kind of, working with my skin very well. It's melding into the skin nicely. I'm not seeing any kind of clinging to dry patches or anything like that. It's just coverage. It's not going to give you a lot of coverage. But if you've got, the dry skin, and you're like me and you have a really hard time kind of finding a foundation that doesn't cling to dry patches and kind of look worse as the day goes on, you would probably do well to try this. I find that it wears very well. I've worn it a few times now, and so it wears very well throughout the day. I find overall it's really great. You're just not going to get a lot of coverage, so just keep that in mind. But if you want something that's nice and fresh and just feels nice on your skin, has a nice scent, and is just kind of nice and like perks you up a little bit, then I definitely recommend this. I think it's really nice. And the price point at $10 here in Canada is excellent as well. So what I'm going to do now is move on to the Wake Me Up Anti-Fatigue Effect and Radiant Glow Concealer. And the color that I have is Very Fair. They had a light, which was a little bit more on the pinky side. Then they had a light medium, and then I think there's a medium dark. So what does it say here? Our first full coverage concealer that visibly reawakens and illuminates under the eyes, completely conceals spots and other blemishes, instant anti-fatigue effect with peptides and a I can't say those combination of words together, with peptides and a vitamin moisturizing complex. Okay, so first, thing that I should note is the color. It's a little bit dark. I don't think I would consider that very fair. If you look on the back of my hands, I always go for these spots here. Let's see how it covers those. It's not bad, but I wouldn't, that's definitely not full coverage. But then again, full coverage would be really thick. So I've got these lovely doobies under here. And then I always, you know, I know it says under eye, but I'm going to use it to cover the redness that I have here. And then here as well. And here. And here. And here. So I'm going to blend it out with that same face brush because I like how it kind of lightens everything out and blends it in really well. So ignoring the bag parts, which are really being illuminated by my overhead lights, I find that this is it's not full coverage. I would say that it's definitely a medium coverage. It's not thick enough to be a full coverage, but having said that, it's just really nice and light and creamy, and it doesn't go cakey or, you know, go into creases or anything like that. I find it feels really nice. It feels light on the skin, but it offers more coverage than like one of those light, really liquidy type concealers, which is nice because it's just nice and kind of creamy on the skin and doesn't feel heavy, yet it feels more substantial than a really light or like a really sheer or light coverage concealer. It does an okay job of covering the redness. It does offer some nice brightening effects underneath the eyes. What I would normally do though is use it in conjunction with a corrector because I do have, you can see I've got really substantial kind of under eye circles and bags, which is lovely. So the next thing that we're going to look at is the Scandaleyes eyeshadow stick crayon, or it's eyeshadow stick crayon ombre au paupier. Papier, poopy, poop, 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 poop. And this claims to be 24-hour waterproof wear, and this is in number 6, Paranoid Purple. So it's actually, it's a really dark and kind of dramatic. I'm not wearing any kind of primer or anything like that. What I do is I just run it along the lash line first. And just kind of, and I don't go all the way in. I stop. I just kind of put it on in the shape that I want it, and then I blend it out. So it goes on very, very smoothly. Feels really nice, and you can be messy because then you just blend it out. And I just take a fluffy blending brush and I blend it out. Now, this has a tendency to, as you can see, completely disappear once you start blending it. So it does require kind of going back in, adding more, blending it out, adding more, blending it out. But when you're done, it builds up quite nice. I did find it a little bit more problematic than some of my other stick eyeshadows that I've used, but for the price point and the color range, I think it's definitely worth trying it out. I would also recommend, if you've got the like oilier eyelids, definitely cover it with a powder. I think it makes a nice base for powders. And the great thing about it is it does lock in place. Like once you get it on, I found I was out dancing, sweating up a storm all night long, and it really did last. Like when I came back home, my eyeshadow looked exactly as it did before I left. So overall, I would just say approach with caution. It's a little bit, you know, a little bit fussy, but overall would definitely recommend trying it out. We're going to continue with the Scandaleyes Waterproof Kohl Kajal Long Wear Waterproof Eyeliner, and this one is in Sparkling Black. And I chose this one because I don't have any kind of like black with shimmer in it, and you can see that there is some silver shimmer in there for sure, so this makes a definite nighttime look. I'm not going to go inside the rim of my eye. I don't normally do that, but I am going to go just on the outer corner, right up against the lash line, top and bottom. It's super smooth, really rich color. The shimmer in it is really nice for, I would suggest it for an evening out. And then once it dries, it locks into place pretty well. So again, super super creamy, super blendable, super slick. Really nice. I like it because I like to be able to smudge out my eyeliner. Okay, then to try how they work in the waterline, I'm going to use another one of the Scandaleyes waterproof Kohl Kajal pencils in, what's this one? Light blue. So to me, a pencil has to be super creamy. I don't want to pull, I don't want to tug, I don't want, you know, any kind of sticking. And you have to get color payoff. A lot of times I find these pencils, you know, you're going really crazy and there's no color showing up. So it has to be a formula that works well in watery places. And you can see that this one's working really, really well. So I love the fact that it goes on super easy in the waterline where it is quite wet. So I'm giving this one high marks because of the fact that it glides on so easily and you actually get to see the colors. So you can see, the whites of my eyes are just popping right out of my head. And then the last product that I have to review is the Wake Me Up Instant Radius Shimmer Touch. And this one is a number 3 Peach Glow. And basically what this is it's a cream kind of blush, kind of highlight product all at the same time. Gives a really nice kind of glow. I'm just going to put it on the tops of my cheekbones. So the color is not too intense, which is nice. It's basically like a tinted highlighter is what I'm going to call it. But to be honest, I really like it because it's just for my pale skin. It's just a nice kind of fresh, nice glow without being too shimmery. The problem that I have with a lot of highlighters is it's like, you know, I've put reflector strips on my cheekbones and I don't like that look very much, but I like something that's just a little subtle, nice glow, and you can definitely build it. This one does have quite a bit of shimmer in it. You can see, I don't know if, yeah, can you see the glitter that's left behind? So this is a combination of all of these Wake Me Up products, how much glitter there is. So if you're looking for pow color, you're not going to get it, but if you just want a nice, like, oh, that's a nice glow. What is it? She looks a little peachy. There you go. My overall impressions are, so this is the Wake Me Up foundation, and then we've also got the Scandaleyes line. So big thumbs up to the Scandaleyes line. I think they're awesome. I gave you my review on those. And another big thumbs up for the Wake Me Up. The only thumbs down is the color range again. 100 Ivory is the lightest, and you can see it's quite dark. So if you're under an NC15 in MAC, that's going to be way too dark for you. The concealer, also very fair, is still quite dark. But other than color, I think that they are very nice. I like the fact that there's a handy little pump on here. The packaging is quite nice. Love that orange. It's just overall really nice presentation. These little Wake Me Up glowy things are awesome. I quite like that a lot. I'm going to go back and get some more. And the concealer, not too heavy of a coverage. If you're looking for like really heavy duty coverage, you're not going to get it from this. Light medium coverage, nice. I like it's illuminating without being too dewy and like wet feeling. Now that I've done all the other work, it's been about half an hour since I put this on. It leaves a nice set finish. You know, a lot of these kind of illuminating or dewy, I'm not going to call this dewy because it's not dewy. A lot of these illuminating foundations kind of leave your skin feeling really heavy and greasy. I don't get that with this. It just leaves a nice soft finish. It has good staying power all day. It doesn't like come off my skin patchy as the day goes on, which is really big if you have dry skin. Doesn't emphasize dry patches, which is awesome. It's just if you're looking for really heavy coverage, you're not going to get it. But if you want a nice kind of light to medium buildable coverage that doesn't go cakey and just stays nice, I would highly recommend this. So I'm very happy, very impressed, and super happy that it's finally here in Canada. So there you go. That's my review of the new Rimmel products that I picked up last week. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye!